Hi, and welcome to Roy by Music Works. Today we're going to talk about how to extend your chords. And we're going to primarily be talking about dominant seventh chords. So if you see a C7 chord, C, E, G, B flat, okay, so that's your C7 chord. I'm going to take into account that everybody that's watching this video knows how to formulate a seventh chord and sort of what the seventh chords, what purpose they hold in music, etc., etc. And I'm going to teach you how to extend those chords here to make them sound a little more interesting and hopefully a little more sophisticated, and etc., etc. So if we have our C7 chord, C, E, G, B flat, okay, the notes that we want to keep, we always want to keep in any chord, is we want the third and we want the seventh. So we want the E and the B flat. Okay? So those are our most important notes in our chord. All right. So now what are we going to add to that to extend our chord? Well, let's say we want to play a C13 chord. Well, we're going to add the ninth, which is a D, and we're going to add an A, which is the 13th. So that sounds a lot different than that, doesn't it? So if I put a C down here, and I play the G, just to sort of fill out the chord a little bit, that sounds a lot different than that, right? So we want to keep in mind we want the third and the seventh, and then we want our funny notes, whether that's a 9, a D, a 13, which would be in this case an A, or maybe we want a sharp 11, which would be an F sharp. Okay, so that's how you extend your chords. You take the third and the seventh, and you add your funny notes. So you may say, well, what if I'm reading a chord chart and it says C9 with a raised 11? Well, what you're going to want to do there is play your third and your seventh, just like we did before, E and B flat. You want the ninth, and you want that sharp 11. So that's your C9 with a raised 11. So if we add the C and the G down here to give it a little weight and body, all of a sudden that chord sounds a lot different than this chord, right? What if you're reading a chart and it says, Roy, they say I want a C13 with a raised 11. Well, that's a bit of a difficult situation there. So what you'd want to do here is play the E and the A and the D and the F sharp, and maybe you'd play the B flat in your left hand. Now you listen to that chord, and that chord doesn't have really any sonic similarity to that, does it? But they function the same way. So they will lead you to the same chords in the same way. So let's say, for instance, you're reading a chord chart and it says, I want a C9 with a flat 13. Well, again, you're going to take your third and your seventh. You're going to add your 9. You're going to take your 13, which is A. And what do we do when we flat a note? We lower it 1/2 step. So there's your C9 with a flat 13. Okay. What if you say, well, Roy, the chord chart says they want a C13 with a flat 9. Well, you're going to take your third and your seventh and your 13th. There's your 9. You're going to flat your 9. So there's your C13 with a flatted ninth. Okay. Now there's two ways to voice a 13 chord. One is with the third as the lowest note, and you'd have this. The other way is with the seventh as the lowest note. So you'd have the 7, the 3, the 9, and the 13. which again is a much different chord than that, right? And so if you're going to voice it with the B flat as the lowest note, and you want the D, E, A, and they say, well, Roy, the chord is asking for a C9 with a flat 13. Well, then all you do is take your 13 and you lower it a half step from A to A flat. And they say, well, what if they're asking for a C13 with a flatted 9, and you want to play it in this position? Same way, 3, 7, 3, flat 9, 13. So this is a very commonly used chord in jazz because the C7 chord wants to go where? To F, right? Because C7 is the 5/7 to F. And if we have that flat 9 in there and we have that A functions as the third of F, and the flat 9 is a half step above the fifth of that chord. So you get a really nice so you see that there's your C13 with a flatted 9. So that is a chord that's very used quite readily, and it's a very pretty way to make dominant chords sound pretty. Dominant chords in and of themselves don't have a lot of character. They're very functional and very structural, but they don't have a lot of character. So we're going to spend a lot of time talking about how to make a dominant seventh chord sound more sophisticated, more beautiful, and what are some of the other tools that we can use to sort of make that make them sound more beautiful and more sophisticated. And this is what I'm showing you right now, extending those chords, is one way to really do that, to make them sound more beautiful. As we get into this, we're going to talk more about substitute chords and tritone substitutions, and but that is how you're going to want to extend your chords. You want the third and the seventh. And then you want your funny notes, whatever they are. 9, 13, raised 11. Okay, and that's how you're going to take your chords from being just dull dominant seventh chords to stuff that really sounds kind of nice. Right. So, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Please subscribe to my channel. If you want PDFs of any of this lesson, just send me an email to royboymusicworks@yahoo.com. Thank you so very much for watching. Have a wonderful day.